Alright, man, welcome to the first installment of AITA, which, for those of you guys that don't know what that stands for, it means Am I the A-hole? Where we essentially read some stories off the subreddit known as r/am I the A-hole, and on that subreddit, people post some situations or some, problems they got themselves into, and they kind of ask, hey, am I the a-hole for the way I went about resolving the issue, or am I a bad person overall for what I did? Now, 99% of the time, if you have to ask Reddit out of all places if you are a bad person in a situation, then yeah, chances are you are indeed the a-hole. And I decided to go on this subreddit and find the worst of the worst when it comes to just bad people and read them off for you guys. And today, I genuinely believe I have found the worst son ever, and another story that's also pretty interesting, so you guys are not going to want to miss these. Also, before I get into the video today, if you guys end up enjoying the video and you're rocking the content, go down below, hit that big red button, also enable all notifications and get notified every single time I upload another brand new video. I upload videos like this one every single day to keep you guys entertained. And hey man, if you end up enjoying this video, you get to see future episodes of these right as I upload them, so why not, man? It's free and you can change your mind later. But anyways, with all that out of the way, let's begin. So the first story here is from a father of a troubled kid, and he captioned it, "Am I the a-hole for not allowing my wife to send our son away for what he said to her?" Now already, man, I don't think there's any way in hell that this situation can turn out good. Like, this already just sounds like a very dysfunctional family, just considering the fact that this kid's own mother wants to ship him away. So hey man, let's find out why this family basically hates each other. 2 weeks ago, my wife's parents passed away in a car accident. Her father was 65 and her mother was 63. My wife has been totally devastated since, and she was an only child and was extremely close to her parents. They were wonderful people, and I also grieved their loss. The issue of this post stems from our son. Our son is 15 years old and has been pretty unempathetic to his mother. He's fairly introverted and started pulling away from his grandparents and us at the age of 13, and now spends most of his time playing video games. He didn't react much to the news of their death. I have tried talking about it a few times, but he has told me that he didn't feel close to them. So already we got a pretty bad situation. We got a mother here who is grieving over the loss of both of her parents. Now, it seems like the son in this situation wasn't really close to the grandparents, so he isn't really too sad about their death. Now, that in itself really isn't a big issue. Like, it is kind of sad that the kid didn't really get to know his family before, they passed away. But at the same time, I can't sit here and fault him for not really feeling, too many emotions over people he never really got to know all that well. However, just the way he goes about showing it is just awful, and you guys are genuinely not gonna believe how bad of a person this kid can really be. I still have to go into work while my wife is on bereavement leave. Our son is also doing online school, meaning he is home all day. Since the accident, my wife and son have had several bad interactions. Examples: wife was crying in the bedroom and son barges in and asks where dinner is. Wife asks him to make himself something. He rolls his eyes and walks away. The big incident came 2 days ago. I was at work when my wife called me sobbing. What happened is that she was in the living room playing some old videos of their parents when son came in. He asks to use a TV to play a video game, and she says to give her an hour. She then asks him to join her. His reply was, "Mom, I honestly don't give a shit. They were old and were gonna die anyways. Can you just get over it already?" God damn. She sent him to his room and called me. I talked to him about it when I got home and made him apologize, but it clearly wasn't sincere. It upset my wife even more, and then she asked to speak with me that night. She told me that she is having a hard time grieving with them, constantly sharing the same space and him being rude and dismissive of her. She proposed that he spends 2 weeks with my sister since I have a similarly aged son he is good friends with. She wants the 2 weeks to go through everything from their house, deal with the legal stuff, and really process her grief. I do understand where she is coming from, but I shut her down. I told her that it is unfair to send him away, and that if she needs some time apart from him, she needs to be the one who goes. She argued that she needed my support through this, and if she goes, she has no one. I told her that I loved her, but our son comes first. She slept in the guest bedroom that night, hasn't spoken to me since. I feel horrible, and I'm second guessing my decision. Was I the a-hole here? Now already, man, we got quite a bit to unpack here. So we already got a very, unfortunate situation here. We got a mother who lost both of her parents, which is just insanely sad, bro. Like, losing anybody who's close to you is bad enough, but losing your parents and the people that brought you into this, earth and, like, brought you up, like, that's gotta sting. And in order to, properly grieve with situations like these, you kind of have to have people there to support you and to, back you up, because without that, man, you basically go insane, right? You need people to support you and give you positive reinforcement to make sure you don't go insane. But instead of that, this mother has two very incompetent idiots in the house with her, right? The main main character here, we got the son who is just an actually terrible person. Like, this has to be the worst son of all time, and this kid very evidently doesn't understand what it means to lose somebody. Like, when his mother was watching videos in the living room of her parents that she just lost, this kid has the nerve to walk into that same room and say, hey mom, I understand, you know, you're grieving the loss of your parents that you just lost and you're never gonna see them again, but can I unplug the DVD player and can you, you know, go cry somewhere else so I can play Call of Duty and get some kill streaks? Like, genuinely, bro, what is wrong with you? And to all fairness, maybe he didn't know that she was grieving, but then when she explains what she's doing and offers him to join her, he says, I don't give a damn, they were old and gonna die anyways, can you just get over it already? How are you gonna tell somebody, your own mother who just lost their parents, to simply get over it? Like, have you never lost anybody important to you? Have you never lost, you know, a family member, a pet, or anything? Like, how are you just gonna tell somebody to get over it so you can sit there and play Call of Duty? They were old and gonna die anyways. Bro, do you know anything about anything? Like, if you look at the ages, what is it, 65 and 63, I think it was, that is not that old to the point where they were gonna drop dead any minute. Like, they still had like a good 2 or maybe even 3 decades ahead of them before that time was really gonna come. No, they passed away in a car accident, something that isn't caused by old age, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, this is your mother, and you're doing nothing but treating her like absolute garbage, which is at the lowest point that I feel like anyone can be at. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if I walked into the living room or, you know, my mom's bedroom and I saw her crying, instead of being like, oh, where's dinner at? Or, can you shut up and stop crying and get over it? I need to play Call of Duty. No, instead of doing that, I would sit next to my mom and, you know, support her. Like, how do you see your mom crying and you just pass it off like, oh, she's just being irrational? Like, oh my god, you're genuinely so heartless. And then, not only that, the cherry on top is this absolutely terrible and stupid father. Instead of laying down the law on your son and, well, raising him properly so he knows that doing this stuff isn't okay, you instead low-key kind of side with him. Like, when the mother wants to send him off for a few weeks so she can properly grieve and not be disrespected and laughed at, the father's like, oh no, my son comes first. Despite the fact you just lost your parents, if you want to grieve, you gotta be the one to get out the door and go find somewhere to cry later, bitch. Like, god, dude, like, how stupid can you be? And how hard is it to simply send your son to like a family member's house for a week or two so your wife can properly grieve? Like, it's not like she was sending the kid to a military camp or, you know, sending him to the streets to be homeless the rest of his life. No, it's 2 weeks at a family member's house so she can properly grieve. Like, she is going through a very difficult time, and not only does she have one idiot disrespecting her, she also has her husband that just doesn't know how to take control and raise the kid properly. Like, the kid is 15 years old, right? Surely he should know what it's like to lose a family member and how to properly treat his own mother. Like, how bad did you raise your kid to the point where at 15 years old, this basic information just didn't go through? If this was my kid, I would be laying down the law. I would not let stuff like this just go under the radar and be swept under the rug as a-okay. No, this kid needs to be sent off and needs to be disciplined. And he also needs to learn the basic right from wrongs. He's 15 years old and doesn't know that, by the way. Great parenting, you idiot. Also, I don't think your child is, like, okay mentally. Like, if he is this, like, unaware and he's this unempathetic and this, like, emotionless over somebody's passing, the kid might genuinely be a sociopath. Like, I'm not trying to pull a Shane Dawson here, but that is some weird sociopathic behavior, bro. I feel like you not only need to parent your kid properly, but get him some counseling or some mental help, because this stuff is not normal. This is like the upbringing of like a serial killer, bro. Get your kid checked out, let the woman grieve, and be a better parent for God's sake. So, to wrap up my whole like 5-minute TED talk here, yes, in this situation, you are indeed the a-hole. Oh, and you're also a terrible father. So go to r/terriblefathers and copy and paste your story there so you can get more Reddit karma and whatnot. Good luck, dude. Now we're moving on. So, the next and final story checking out today is AITA for telling my sister to stop bringing up her dead baby. Bro, what kind of stories are we dealing with today? Alright, let's dig in. So my sister, 33-year-old female Julie, had a baby die of SIDS 6 years ago. I tried to support her in all the ways I could. She's now in a support group with many other moms who have lost babies and is getting better and thinking about possibly having or adopting another kid. My other sister, 26-year-old Ashley, just had her first baby 3 months ago. All throughout her pregnancy and now while her baby is alive, Julie keeps bringing up that the baby could die of SIDS. Like, she'll say things like, don't get too attached, you never know. I had my first kid before everything happened to Julie, and I still had a fear of SIDS or something that may go wrong in general. But Ashley is getting really freaked out. My family is potting together, so Julie and I were at Ashley's house yesterday trying to help out with the baby. Julie kept freaking her out and mentioning SIDS to the point where Ashley started crying and saying, I just really want her to be okay in reference to her baby. I took her in the other room and tried to calm her down by saying the baby wasn't going to die, but Julie kept yelling in from the other room, you never know. Jesus Christ, dude. I was really annoyed, and when we went upstairs, I asked her if maybe she could discuss it with a therapist for her own support, or even her husband. She just kept saying, I don't want to give Ashley false hope, and things like that. I asked if she could please stop bringing up the idea of her baby dying in front of Ashley. She got very annoyed and left suddenly. She hasn't said anything to me or anyone else since yesterday. I understand this is probably triggering for her, but it's not just Ashley's job to deal with that, especially when she has a newborn and I don't know how to help her. So I feel like suggesting she talk to people who know how to help her isn't that bad, but I do feel like kind of an a-hole for telling her to stop bringing it up. Am I the a-hole here? Now, surprisingly, for once on this Reddit, no, you are not the a-hole. If anything, the person who's bringing the idea of this person's newborn dying is the a-hole. And don't get me wrong, I do feel extremely bad for the person who lost their baby. Like, that is insanely sad, and I'm really sorry to hear that. That's an unfortunate thing, and I think that's like everyone's worst nightmare that wants to be a parent. But at the same time, if you're gonna be going around bringing it up to somebody who just had a child and making them cry over the idea of their baby dying, you're just being an a-hole. And I feel like it's out of jealousy. Like, this person lost their newborn baby at a very young age due to some disease, and when she sees her sister have a newborn that didn't pass away, it seems like she's very jealous that she herself didn't get to be a mother. However, that really isn't an excuse for the way she is acting. Like, I get it, dude. This is something that you're still grieving over. I don't think it's something you necessarily get over, but at the same time, you don't get to do this to other people just because you had to go through it. Because from what I'm reading, this is something that like every parent fears. Like, every single parent has a giant fear of SIDS, and they've like stayed up for hours upon hours at night just thinking about the possibility of their child to just randomly drop dead. So the fact that she was already worried about this happening and you just keep rubbing it in her face that, oh, by the way, your baby's probably gonna die, you are indeed the a-hole in that situation, and suggesting this person to get help isn't an a-hole move. But anyways, man, that is all I got for you guys today. Very interesting stories today. If you guys want to see more episodes of this series, go down below, run up that like button so I can see that you guys did indeed love this video and want to see more stuff like this. If you guys want to see more of my videos, click on the thing is popping up on the screen to see more. Thank you guys for watching the video. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.